Good evening to one and all present here. We welcome all the participants and guests for the fifth session of third day ATAL Faculty Development Program on the role of drone in disaster management system. We glad to welcome today's guest, Mr. A. Selvam sir, presently working as a general manager in Land Coordinates Technology, Chennai. He receives diploma in civil engineering from CNT in the year of 2005 from Directorate of Technical Education, Chennai. He holds bachelor degree in civil engineering from Satyabama University in the year of 2013 and MTech degree in the construction engineering and project management in the Department of Civil Engineering from BS Abdul Rahman University in the year of 2015. He published journal papers in IOSR. Also presented 3 international conference papers in different engineering colleges. His area of interest is project pre and post clearing from various departments. He has 18 years experience in geospatial tech field, and his career achievements are consulting with Chennai Metro, guest lecture in the Center for Survey Training and Research Center, Chennai, technical member for Survey and Land Record Department, Government of India, authorized training for LIDAR, DGPS and drone system, trained more than 10,000 students, conducted 250 plus training programs in several engineering colleges across India, conducted international training programs, Afghanistan Rural Development Department, 1 month international training program, LIDAR, DGPS scanner to the Survey Department engineering students, Qatar. Welcome you for this session, sir.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. I hope my voice is audible, right?
Yes, sir. Audible, sir.
Okay, ma'am. Shall we start the program or we will wait for another 1 or 2 minutes?
We can start the program, sir.
Okay, fine. Thank you. So, good morning, good evening, one and all here. So, myself is Selvam. So, they are briefly elaborated about my professional and then my career. So, today's topic, which we are covered under the disaster management, especially the unusual situations, how we are going to manage. That is a very biggest challenge for everyone. Even our regular activities also, it is difficult. Also, in our engineering or else any other professional point of view also, it is very difficult. So here we are going to briefly discuss about the drone. So how the drone is going to involve our disaster management system, right? So commonly we have two things. So before hazards, we need to plan well to control or to minimize the hazard situation. And then second thing, if it is happened, if any the disaster is happen or accident is happen, we need to control or manage our situation or overcome into the situation. So these two things is very important. So in this both the area, we need to plan very precisely. Otherwise, it will be the very complicated one. So here we will be concentrate with the different environmental segment, how the drone is going to part during the disaster management situation. So since in the civil engineering aspect, so there are a lot of measures we are going to consider. And then as a common people also, they are applying the drone technology in the disaster management, because drone is not only applicable for any particular vertical of engineering or any particular vertical of environment. The drone is applicable for entire aerial industries, right? The spatial oriented supports, whatever the requirements, drone is the only way to solution, because aircraft or helicopter, everything is very difficult to handle or difficult to operate or difficult to landing, take off. Many tedious processes are there. But here, drone gives very best solution. So that's what we are focusing into the drone, how it will be roll into that area. As of now, drone is a UAV, unmanned aerial vehicle. So it is a applicable for the different area, because drone is not even restricted with one industry, even event management people, and then the social photographies, and then the footages of any information, and then nowadays the drone racing is also there, right? The drone is a aerial vehicle. That is what we have mentioned, unmanned, the aerial vehicle, right? So this aerial vehicle is mainly travel without any specified road or any specified tracks, right? Because the transportation is coming under the different way, the road transport, railway transport, or water transport. So commonly we used to utilize this type of transport. Here we are discuss about the UAV, unmanned aerial vehicle, how it is moving to the aerial part. And then the another also the commercial purpose, and then security emergency purpose also drone was highly using. The commercial, the shipping, the material from one place to other place. And another, the biggest area for the mapping, because India is highly depending on the drone-based mapping. The reason is within a short period or within a short timeline, we are able to collect a huge data for the uh, designing purpose or optimally utilization of the land. So that the mapping is purely coming under the engineering verticals, because we have a very good detailed study in the mapping. But since we are into the disaster part, so basically we are mainly focusing on the disaster area only. So, and then the insurance claiming also nowadays done by the drones, and then a lot of land use, land cover application, then agriculture, and then wild animal monitoring also done by the drone only. And then emergency situation, the surveillance. If any emergency, even for during the public gathering, if any theft or if any emergency situation, there is a monitoring system generally adopted by the police department or militaries with drone surveillance. Right, so drone surveillance is nowadays is very common. Wherever the people are moving here and there, we just send the drone, and then we are monitoring 360-degree where the people are moving, how the people are gathering, any unusual situation is happen, how the data are keep on follow, everything it's done by drone. And then medical supply. So whenever the needs, we are unable to travel by road, by any other modes, then the drone is a biggest role. And then if any other things need to search and rescue, because the drone can able to lift it up to the 50-60 kg of any kind of material, right? Even to send the water to the needed people, we are able to send the water. So everything we need to utilize by the drone. And then food supply, and then the military, because the military also, any emergency situation, they are attacking through the drone only. That is are all the different condition. Even suicide drones also nowadays is available, so that they will be sent the drone, it will be directly get into the place and then attack. So there are plenty of applications are the drone. So we are going to discuss about a few application, and then few basic principles. What are the drones rules and regulations are basically need to follow in Indian geography. These are all very important, because drone is a vehicle, right? So how the RTO, it's rule overing in the normal transport. The similar way, aerial vehicle is also coming under the lot of rules and regulations. These are all the type of drones based on the payloads, based on the wings, based on the type. We are categorized like quadcopter, fixed wing, single rotor, and then tricopter, hexacopter, right? So based on the wings capacity, the lifting capability will be changed, right? So hexacopter will be taking a more load, and then quadcopter may be taking a lesser load. Fixed wing will be flying more time, right? The weight capacity is different, flying more time is different, because it will be flying with different wind flowables. And then single rotor, obviously it's a helicopter kind of thing is coming under the single rotor. So it will be also taking a lot of movement. So everything is a vehicle. Based on the vehicle, we need to plan based on the emergency situation. For example, need to create a pre-disaster, like if example there is a flood, or there is any famine, or there is any huge landslide, we need to know about understanding of the terrain, because recently in Wayanad we are all facing the landslide. But even though the government of India is continuously reporting to the local government, so there is a chances of hazards. So need to relocate the people, right? Because there is some landslides are happening in the upper streams. But the problem is that people are not much aware of the landslide or the direction of landslide and everything. So at the end of the day, there are a huge number of human losses and then material losses. Lot of losses will be happen, even though we are unable to help the people, right? Because this is called a land deprived. So entire land is go inside the soil, so that such activities we can predict based on the pre-disaster. So we will create as a map. Map is a one way to understand the topographical features, how the land is profiled naturally, how the change of land based on the any disaster, right? So as of now, as a civil engineers, many of us knows what is the levels, right? How it will be impact our engineering design parameters. So the water gravities, transport the water from one place to other place, and then drain the water in the normal surface. Always the level is very, very important, because drone is a very important role act in our engineering aspect. So that aspect, our quadcopter type of drone is more than sufficient to take the entire topographical feature on the ground. And then the hexacopter is obviously for the agri people normally use as a hexacopter to lift more load, like a 20 liter or 30 liter, even 40 liter also. Lift the water, spray the water into the different areas so that they can manage in such a way. And then the fixed wing also fly the long area to reach to destinate some mapping purpose, right? So different drones, different aspect. So as per the India, we have a drone regulations will be there. DGCA, Director General of Civil Aviation, is the aerial drone monitoring or control body, right? So for every drone should be recognized by the Director of Civil Aviation. It is called like a type certified with UI number, right? So all the drones, what are the drones is manufactured or assembled by India, the drone should be examined from the DGC, right? So without DGCA, drones is an offense. So that all the drones, the similar way in the vehicle should be the chase number. Every vehicle have a chase number. Every vehicle is tested in all the Indian road condition. Then only we have to drive or any movement in our road. The similar way, drone is also should be get proper approval from the DGCA, right? So this is very important. After that, the person who's going to drive the vehicle, obviously we need a license. The similar way, the person who's going to fly the drone, they need a license, right? That is a pilot license. There is a small category, medium category, and then large category, right? So there are a different category will be there. Less than 30-40 kilo lifting capacity, it comes under the small. So more than 50-60, it is coming under the medium. then the helicopter and all, it is coming under the large, right? So there are the different category will be there. They are giving a training from the RPTO center, remote pilot training center, which is reputed by DGCA. Then only we will be getting the license also properly. So these are all the proper legal enforcement in the drone industry, right? So we cannot use every drone for the what is called the survey purpose or video purpose or any other mitigation purpose. So we need a proper permission and all. Then only we have to move the next level. The disaster management, everyone knows. So it is sometimes naturally without any prediction, it will be happen. Sometimes, like a Wayanad kind of plants, we have some symptoms, right? We have some earlier symptoms will be there. We may plan accordingly, right? So that is what we mentioned in the area of disaster prone zone identification is nowadays very important, because the disaster management department is highly working in the northeast area in India, as well as in the Kerala and then Western Ghats, right? So wherever the Western Ghats, so these are all the highly disaster prone zone. So they are identified, right? They are identified from the meteorological data and then Indian geographical data. But we need a little more precise information from the particular areas, right? So this is what one area, and then coastal is another biggest issue, the tsunami, and then erosion of sea, and then encroachment of sea boundaries, because the encroachment is the biggest challenge for the different terrains. Even forest area, the encroachment is very more. Also coastal area, lot of people, the fishery people are encroached the lands. So we need to restrict it, because nowadays the prone zone identification is very difficult, because the people won't be allowed to identify the zones. So that what will be happen, they have only numerical databases. There is no such aerial view database. So because the analyzer also doesn't have a information, right? So without geographical information, we are unable to identify the prone zone, how it will be. So that the drone is a biggest portion. So wherever the possibilities are coming, it is a very important one. And then drone, yes, obviously everyone knows drone is an unmanned aerial vehicle, so that for any emergency, it will be reached faster. Also, there is no more the human life loss, because we heard a lot of the rescue people also during the disaster or rescue time, they lost their life. Right? That is a very difficult, right? Because sending the food or sending the water or communicating here and there or sending the medicine, everything is a very difficult. Because drone is a vehicle, right? If it is a lost one vehicle, then we will be buy a new vehicle. That's a very simple way. Only the finance only is the problem, but here there are plenty of issues will be happen. So there are plenty of assessment, damage assessment will be there, supply and delivery will be there, communication of support, and then search and rescue. So these are all commonly applicable by drone. So we can provide food, water, medicine, and then if it is any small object, we will bring it from one place to other place also. We will communicate, or we will be sending some message. We are here, or we will be working on it. So there are a lot of supports will be provided by the drone, right? So these are all the basic things. Yes, here. So we will be pre-disaster role of drones and then post-disaster role of drones, right? So the prevention is the better than cure. Normally, we used to word this point, right? So we have to risk assessment, because generally there is some risk. Then we are unable to take some data, or we are unable to move over there. We are able to analyze the information, right? So the analyzation part, there is a two different analyzation will be there. One is for camera, right? The camera based analyzation. We have to send the drones. We have to identify really what's has happened over there, right? So that is one way of analyzation. And then we will create as a map. If example, I will show in between one video. It is actually like a investigation of the bridge, right? So there is a bridge, so there is a lot of cracks will be there. We need to understand, because the bridge will be collapsed at any time. These are all done by the drone only, right? So I hope the video will be visible. We will be identify as a crack identification, how much of crack will be formed, whether the bridge will be continuously survived, because during the flooding time, if you are supposed to use the bridge, there is a different disaster will be comes. So that the corrosions and then patching, everything we will be done based on the drone, right? So drone is a very, very the common device for the assessment, or the engineering aspect, as well as the visualization also. So we can understand what will be happen, how it will be happen. So percentage of issues, everything we will identify, right? So this is what the 3D creation, right? So we are taking a drone, because commonly by video won't be works here. We'll take a lot of pictures by using of drone. We'll apply some image processing principle. It's called it as a photogrammetry. We apply it, then we are working it, and then infrastructure inspections also. We will be roll into the pre-disaster. Any infrastructure we need to inspect, we will be done the similar way. So how the structure will be there, whether the safety aspect are there or not. I'll be show one more
இது வேற
videos
இது
also.
புஷ்பமேலா காரணம் சார். ஓ அந்த கொஞ்சம் வண்டி எடுத்து மூவ் பண்ணோம்னா.
Yes, fine. So here there is one. This is a surveillance aspect. Drone is running as a surveillance part also. Here, so we have a surveillance aspect. So what this is called a surveillance. Even this will be done by the Chennai Metro. There is a metro activities are there. There is a huge number of vehicle parking, material movements. So everything it's running based on the safety norms or not. So we will be identify pre-disasters, because this is the underground, the station construction is going on. So we cannot assess every day by manually. So that every day what they are doing, every day morning 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, they will be sending a drone for the aerial view. They apply for the zoom viewing. So based on the zoom, every information they are registered in the geotag. Here there was another biggest advantage for the machine learning, because the auto machine learning and then AI concept is also under developing in the industry. So based on that, how many trucks are in this image, how many dozers are in this image, how many human movements are in this image, everything is running behind the this disaster management or the mitigation measures. So the safety parameters is nowadays monitored by the drone only, especially in the construction engineering. It's a very large engineering industry. So we can tilt the camera here. See, they are the tilt the camera up to 90 degree. So they can understand what are the natural features are available near to our site, right? Everything is done by the drone monitoring system only. So this is a way the pre-disaster or pre-accident controlling system will be running, right? And then environmental monitoring. Environmental monitoring also, it's a very, very important, especially for the any filed fires, right? Any significant fire, or anything will be happen, then if there is a smoke will be coming, we are unable to access, then we will be send the drone as a large altitude, then we are able to view from 1 kilometer away to, I will show one another video. It is a very useful video. Yes, so this is done by the drone only. There is one lava fire will be happen. They will be send the drone nearly about 5 kilometer away, right? So the drone will be flying because FBB, the first personal view, these are all. So because these are all very rare possibilities, right? So these are all the very rare possibilities with help of drone only can able to identify how it will be, right? So for any kind of natural calamities or any kind of natural unusual situation, we will be sending a drone. Immediately we will understand if we have an existing topographical map in this entire area, we will immediately intimate to the people and then public there is a natural disaster or calamities has happened. We need to move immediately, kind of all the information we are able to send it up. So everything is done by the drone only, right? So these are all small kind of drone is more than sufficient for this. All right, so after that post-disaster role, there is a lot of assessment we need to do because after disaster, we need to give some remedies, especially during the flood or during any kind of natural calamities. We need to provide some compensation or some relief fund we need to provide. So who's going to provide? Who are all going to get beneficiary? How we will be assessed? These are all the biggest challenge because after calamities, we cannot able to access the particular place. But if some insurance people also looking at informations, and then the government is also expecting the information from the local bodies, how many land users are there, how many acres of land is affected, or whether the land is developed by any type of crop or any type of infrastructure is what is called it is affected. So everything we need to identify. So since the drone is a biggest assessment aspect also, right? So we send a drone, we capture the aerial information like a 10 square kilometer or 20 square kilometer, even for 50, 60 square kilometer. So finally, what will be happen? We will be capture entire information in a single area. So that if we have a pre-disaster map in the same area, we will be easily identify. Earlier, there was a 60% of land is planted by agriculture department. There is a only 10% of land only is remaining. Then the remaining 50% people is affected. So then automatically, who are all the landowners? Then we have to give the some remedies, whatever there, right? So that is one thing. And then obviously we are discuss about impact. If any natural, even for oil spilling in ocean or any other smokes, even normally in Punjab, the fire is highly affected in Delhi. So we need to identify where it will be happen, how much of area it will be affected. So what was the affected zone? The oil spilling area is how much, right? So everything it will be monitored by drone. So that we just send the drone, we will take an entire capture, we will be analyze it, then we will be preparing as a report, right? So everything is coming through the drone only. Obviously, these are all the main advantage: speed, inaccessibility. Also, already we discussed about the safety. Who's going to access the assessment? They always safe. and then the very cost efficiency. There is no duplicates. We have a proof of a document we are able to create as much as faster, and then very precise to one, because we cannot say like a plus or minus concept like a 30 to 40 or 30 to 50, not like that. If whatever the affected, we can say like a very precise manner. So these are all the main advantages: speed, safety, cost efficiency, precision, as well as in the accessibility. Even for nowadays, the drone is another biggest area for the during the rainy season, the mosquito habitats, right? So mosquito habitat, the chance, because dengue is the biggest issue in our India. So wherever the chances of mosquito growing, right? So wherever the mosquitoes are gathered, wherever the chances of mosquito the gathering, so that by the use of drone, we will be identification with the cluster, right? All the open source, the even for the water tank, and then the sewer lines, then open water bodies area. These are all the chances of mosquito development. So we will be identify it. We will be reporting to the local body. So these are all the red zones. Immediately they will be taking as actions. All right. So once the mosquito is comes, then it will be the biggest problem. So these are all done by the drones, right? So these are all the environmental supports. And then this one already we discussed about the surveillance. So this is one common drone with help of different payloads. Because drone as a vehicle, what are the sensors we are going to add in? Whether we are going to add a 360-degree rotated camera with 90-degree vertical movement camera, it is coming under the surveillance, right? The monitoring of entire circumference. So this is called as a surveillance drone. So we are able to monitor with one place into the 1 square kilometer of activities, right? So we can send the drone as a 120-meter altitude. We will be zoom up to 1 kilometer or 0.5 kilometer. We will be identify it. We will be reporting into the particular persons. Right? There is some issues is going on. Immediately they are sending the police department. Then automatically it is connected as a geotagged location. Then police people are easily moving into the particular point. They will be controlled there any unusual situation, right? So this is falling under the surveillance part. This is also surveillance. So we are able to move the drones from one place to other place without a direct investigation or direct control of unusual situation. We are able to sending into the drone. So another one is for the thermal. Everyone knows we have to change the sensor, right? The drone is same. We need to change the sensor. We have to change the thermal sensor, right? So based on the thermal sensor, based on the photos, based on the heat reflection, we will be identify how it will be harmful, right? During in forestry area, there was a biggest issue for the animals, right? The animal movements in the normal the public area. It is a very big issue which we are facing in the forestry. So that the thermal camera is highly useful for this. We are giving one output. It is for the thermal panels, right? Thermal panel efficiency, right? Thermal panel efficiency is nowadays done by the drone only. We just fly the drone. We just identification of the heat reflecting abilities. So we will be applicable for the thermal. Meanwhile, I will be show one video for the animal movements. Right. See here the rabbit is moving, right? So based on the drone, we just fly the drone, even day or night. That is not a problem. So where it will be moving, where it is hide, because cheetahs are entered in the villages, or elephant is entered in the villages. If we need to monitor, we can send the drone, then we have to monitor where it is moving, how many numbers are there. So where it is hidden, everything we will be able to monitor, right? So these are all falling under the thermal cameras, right? So the thermal cameras is also fixed into drone. Then we are going to take, this is for the mapping for pre-disaster and then after disaster assessment. Both the way, the engineering parameters we are going to apply. So number of households are damaged. Beforely, what is the households numbers? What is the percentage of greenery area? Everything we are able to pre and post, we will be done by the mapping, because the mapping is the biggest as well as the very precise industry in our Indian, right? So we have a lot of the research as well as in the training programs which we are conducting to the various colleges across the India, only based on map creation using drone, right? Engineering map, right? So engineering map and the navigational map. There is a two maps are there. The engineering map is always coming under the centimeter accuracy. Navigational mapping is always going with the 1 to 10 meter accuracy, right? So we are able to create as an engineering map with help of drone, right? So there is a biggest chapter, even there is a totally is a different topic. So we have a very good, the studies will be there. Based on the mapping, we will be identified with the encroachment identification we are able to do. We are going to create as a engineering planning, and then highway, yes, we are able to identify for the black spots identification, accident prone zone identification, right? And then with the help of water stream identification, many things will be done by the mapping. So then the LiDAR will be also there. The LiDAR is a light detection and range. So based on the aerial, we will be taking different level of information, that is called a classification. There is a terrain, we have a tree canopy, we have a buildings, we have a terrain. So different levels we will be identified based on the different level, what type of development, how it will be elevated, how it will be chances of water streamline, or how the water mitigations, transportation, everything we will be do. So these are all the area which we are commonly applied for the drone. I'll be taking with one more the PPT for the drone application. So this is one video which is helped with the drone with a 3D. Generally, drone will be giving a 2D. Here we will be working with a 3D. This is purely supporting with any kind of what is called the unusual situation. There is any chance to reach the particular floors, right? So within a timeline, we will be create as a, because it is a purely engineering category. So any type of sizes, because there is a lot of openings are there. So we cannot use normal drone videography. We cannot identify what is the size of window, what is the height of building, everything. So we will be identified only based on the drone, right? So with the 3D, we will be identify what is the height, what is the length, width, breadth, everything we will be identified. So whatever the information, we will be take it out with a three-dimensional also, right? So this is also done by the drone, right? So everything we are able to make create by the drone. Yeah. Another presentation for this. Right. So here we will be applying for the drone as a mitigation measures with also in the engineering aspects. So especially for the this is called the multispectral analysis with using of drone. So how the tree canopies are monitored based on the any kind of natural disaster, because sometimes it will be affected based on the even for the proper monitoring or proper fertilization issues also. That will be also type of, because the disaster will be not only coming under the human losses, the large agriculture industry also they are facing huge defect with help of different sensors. So here we have already we discussed about this thermal, and then drone is another supports also. Drone will be provided for the cleaning purpose, any type of water splitting, right? So with help of water, we will be cleaning or removing with sedimentations, right? So everything is also done by drone. Here the windmill, yes. So any kind of chances of issues with help of wind impact, right? So we will be assessed with help of drone. Previously, all the connections, all the bolt, all the fittings, whether it will be fitted in the proper way or any chances of issues or any kind of mitigation measures is need to be required. Everything is done by the drone during the process. So this is for the tree canopy monitoring, right? So even the nowadays the agri pattern is coming under the a lot of research and development is going. So for grow up or healthy crops monitoring, right? Healthy crops monitoring is also coming under the drone monitoring system. Whether the crop is reached a particular growth within a 5 years or 2 years or 3 years. So whether the crop is reached the particular the height and then size, everything is monitored by the multispectral. That is called a multispectral sensors, right? The similar way here, there is one identification, the number of trees monitoring, right? So these are all coming under the drone, right? So these are all the falling under the pre and post disaster analysis, because in foreign countries they are highly involved their activities in this type of understanding, right? So how the data are captured, so after hurricanes, so how they will be rectified, how they will be supposed to provide the solutions, right? So this is for another importance area. So we are able to identify type of landslides in or any other stilt, right? So in the large pond or lake or any other large water bodies, so what is the underwater profiles? We don't know, right? So generally it is a very difficult. So whether, especially for the dam, because the dam is always constructed in the elevated catchment area, right? So that is called the catchment location. If anything is happened in the dam catchment area, it is also the biggest disaster. So every time we need to monitor properly, right? Any shrinkage will be there, any stilt will be there, or any type of change of formation, whether it will be there or not, we are able to identify with help of drone technology also, that is coming under the sonar sensors, right? So the sonar sensors which we have fixed in a drone, we drive the drone here and there, automatically the sensor will be hitting the signals to the underground, then automatically it's create as a entire profile, cross-sectional and then longitudinal sectional, and then grid pattern, the contour will be also generated based on the drone data, right? So these are also the biggest applications for the drone. This is what we are already identified with help of agri area. So we are able to properly spray with help of drones. So this will be also one of the pre-measures, right? So the disaster is happened in the different, because the crop monitoring is also biggest investment. Then it is coming under the insurance also, because every farmer, we are generally looking into the normal farmers, the large area of farmings, especially in Uti and then Assam, the Tata teas are there. These people are planted the tree plantation. These are all coming under the insurance, right? So insurance assessment, like all the insurance companies aware into the assessments, right? So they are properly planted, whether they are properly spraying the fertilizer, and then properly they are monitoring and then controlling the system. Then only if any calamities has happened, they will be giving the proper the reimbursement or insurance claiming. Otherwise, it will be difficult, right? Because the insurance claiming is a very, very biggest challenge for the Indian culture, because commonly the life loss insurance claiming is very easy because we have a immediate database. Our vehicle accident is also very easy, but this type of crops, it's based on the regular monitoring, so that all the area people, they are highly aware into the technology, how we are able to control or how we are able to monitor everything, we are able to easy to understand, right? So these are all coming under the controlling or monitoring of this kind of natural disaster activities, right? So this is coming under the AI. So we just flying this. This will be the new concept in our Indian scenario. There is a huge what is called the computer industry, right? Coming under the AI platform. There is a mitigation measures are especially for the assessments, right? So if you have taken like a large map, you need to identify how many this is animal. The similar way, we have to give lot of photo for the machine learning. Then finally will give as a entire district map or any type of regional map. Then automatically it will be gives within a 1 hour, various of layers are covered, whether the water covered area, that is one type of layer, greenery area, that is one type of layer, and then mud and then soil fixing or rock fixing, everything is created as a within a 1 hour, it will be gives like 100 square kilometer AI concept, right? So the everything is based on the drone, right? So the drone is the biggest vital role, which is it is a structural controlling system, which we are seeing in earlier videography, how the bridge and other area is monitored the similar way, the bridge orthography and then engineering parameters, right? The bridge, whether the stably it will be built or any other tilt or any other slide movement or everything is done based on the drone also. This is for the monitoring system into the mining area, because the mining is also falling under the disaster. Recently, we are in the north region, there is a mining landslide will be happen. So that is also falling under the disaster. So there is based on the so many reasons, because the mining is basically done by different levels. They are access the particular level with vehicles, right? So they need to maintain proper slope, right? Every bench need a proper slope. So that what will be happen, the natural ore, if example, you are taking as a 5 square kilometer of mining project, you will be extract only 30 to 40% of natural ore. Remaining place you need to simply retain for the safety purpose, right? But here the construction or the extraction people only follow the proper rules and regulations. So what will be happen during the flood or during the rainy or during any kind of calamities, the soil will be slide, right? So automatically it will be the biggest challenge, right? So the natural resource should be properly monitored and controlled, and then properly utilize the natural resource for our development, so that it will be taking by manual measurement or manual monitoring or manual assessment is a very difficult, because we cannot access every places as a normal manner. So the only way, drone is the best way to properly assess. If anything is goes wrong, immediately reporting to the mining authority people, and then Bureau of Indian Mines, right? So the deviations will be there. So we need to control, or we need to stop it, or we need to reconsider it, right? The lot of, because the mining is the biggest industries in our Indian geography, so that we have to properly control, and then we have to properly intimate in this proper way, right? So we have a different layer. These are all the outcome of minings, right? So these are all the way we are able to control in this part. And then one more video is also be there, the controlling system of drone. I will check. So meanwhile, I will explain one more concept for the map creation using drone, because this is coming under the pre-assessment of disaster. There is a map is falling under the different order. So it is normally all the maps in India, we will be taking in the such a way. In India, Tamil Nadu, Kanchipuram, Uttiramerur, and then particular village. This is the order of Indian maps. Commonly, we used to follow. So wherever the geographical condition, we will be go like this. So we have a drone. We have a place to flying the drone. So we have a ground control point. So whenever you want to take as a engineering maps, right? Engineering map is the only way to assess the land, right? So we need to evaluate of any type of damages. We need to consider as an engineering platform. So we need a drone as well as the DGPS also. So after that, we have a planned area where I'm going to fly my drones. So after that, I have a fly path. So based on the flying, I choose it out. There are a lot of principles are there: forward overlapping, and then side overlapping, and then GST ground sample distance. What is the distance I'm going to take the data? So everything I need to properly plan. Otherwise, our data won't be reached as much as accuracy, right? So this is another thing. And then we have a n number of photos we are taking by the 70% of overlap. front and side adjustment, and then 82 pictures we are took. This is a one picture. Then based on the process, we'll get the entire information as a ortho image, right? Nearly 82 images which I stitched. Finally, I get one image. It is called the ortho rectified drone image. In the right side, I have a digital elevation model, right? So how the terrain will be elevated. Everything is based on the color shade, which is a low lying area, which is a high area, what is the road, what are the objects will be there, everything we will be identified. And then we have a 3D also. So we are able to create as a 3D, right? So based on the 3D, we will be get it out height of the building, right? And then, so this is another analysis. It is purely for the land encroachments, right? The land encroachment, lake encroachment, forest encroachment, everything. There is a accuracy of drone. We will be taking as a 1:50 scale ratio, right? Even for the small cow is moving on the ground, we are able to understand what is the size of cow, what is the distance of cow, everything we will be identified. So we will be taking with the cadastral superimposed, right? So everything based on the cadastral map, we have a pre-disaster information, because in every village they have a VOO, village administration officer. Is a person to keep the village records, and then the crop area as well as the type of crop in this year they are planted. Everything is maintained by the VOO, right? So it will be maintained by the different survey numbers, right? So based on the survey number, we will be identify it, right? So based on the survey number, we'll identify, we superimpose. So if after any calamities, whether which survey number is affected, whether the survey number is previously registered by the crops, because there is a during the fund relief fund providing, right? The relief fund providing is the biggest issue. So relief fund providing, so they will be taking based on the crop, because they will be mentioned like a paddy field, they are giving a different fund, and then the coconut tree plantation they are giving as a different relief fund, right? The residential people, those who are lost the animals, everything we have to register in the village officer. Here we have a FMB, we have a orthomosaic image, we have to superimpose on the image with a village record, which is the adjacent village, which is the road, where the tank, where the survey boundaries, where the stream is going, everything we will be marked over here. Then automatically electrical light, food tracks, wells, wherever the wells are located in the village, because these are all the pre-assessment reports, right? So then we will be superimposed. After the superimposed, we will identify what are the survey numbers are falling under the residential area, right? Who's the owner of the particular land? How much land he holds? Which is the subdivisions, right? And then which village, which taluk, which districts, everything is, we have a pre-assessment, right? So that we will be superimposed here. Then we will be create the easiest output here, the stream, which are all the affected, which are all not coming under the private lands. Here we will be shaded in the yellow shades. These are all owned by owners. Remaining lands is not owned by the owners. It is a government property, so that no need to give any the funds, the relief funds, right? So the simply what the assessment people are saying, there is a 25 or 150 survey numbers are there. We need to give the money for all of them. So it's not a right way to assess the any disaster measurements. So we have to apply it. We have to give it and then we have another color shade. This color will be giving, naturally it is a waterlogged area. Then they will be raise a question why they are looking or why they are doing the activities in this plant area, right? There is a stream will be going in upper area. There is a small canal is going. So here also we are able to identify. So they will be directly mentioning those who are all entering in the canal boundary, we are not giving any relief funds. So there are plenty of opportunities which we are able to create with the help of drone technology, right? So these are all the ways which we are reaching into this part. So one more video is also be there. I will show the video. Yes, so this is for video for the spraying, right? So any other fire accident or cleaning purpose, the drone is continuously, water is pumping through the tubes. Then the drone have a capacity to fly 1 hour or 2 hours. Then high pressured water they are splitting. Then automatically all the activities are cleaning. Similar way, the fire accident, if it is happen, then they will be applied. Another technology is called like LiDAR technology. Nowadays, the drone is coming under the 3D. Here we have before demolishing, they will be capturing the information. So this is an existing railway track. Near the railway track, there is a power line is going. There is a engineering structures are there. It will be gets rehabilitation. They are planning for the chances of demolishing, right? So they need a entire information as a engineering parameters. So what are the next near object, right? What is the span between the supports? What is a type of steel frames are there? Whether the water, because these are all the engineering aspect in our aerial methods, right? So these are all the way to control the drones, and then a lot of drone applications will be there. Will be checked. So this is for the monitoring purpose, right? So before demolishing of any kind of chimneys, right? The high-raised chimneys are there, or silos, bunkers, everything, whatever the more high-rise, we will be sending as a drone, taking as a 3D point. So we will be considered as an engineering aspect. Then if they are going for blasting, right? So they will be planned properly where the blasters, where they need to drill it. So where they need to, whether the place is suitable to drill or not, everything they will be identified. Then they will be plan it. Then they will be locate. Then only they will be able to go for the blasting purpose, right? So these are all falling under the drone principles and then drone monitoring system. So rather than that, based on the country, based on the object, based on the situation, we will be use it. So there is only one, the output. Drone is an aerial vehicle, right? So the drone is an aerial vehicle. We need to understand where the vehicle is going to apply, whether the mapping, whether the medical, or whether the food and other material supply, or whether the surveillance purpose, right? So everything is based on our decision, right? So here we were discuss about the multiple pre-disaster, like the chances of hazards. This is the biggest issue, because once we identify the chances of hazards, we will be control 90% accidents or 90% of disaster. Remaining 10% we are unable to predict. Meanwhile, if we create a proper database, we will be controlling. Even after disaster also, we will be able to immediately rectify it or immediately provide any kind of support, right? So this is what we were understand in this area. So we will be go for question and answer session, right? So anybody have questions? You have to raise your question. So we have a comfortable in Tamil, Malayalam, as well as in this English. So whatever the language you want to raise your question, we will be raise it out. It will be very useful for you. Meanwhile, I will give my the contact number also. In future, any type of engineering supports in drone, in LiDAR you need, you just reach to me. My number is, my name is Selvam, 9848042241, right? So this is what my contact number. Once again, 9841804241. My name is Selvam. I am from Land Coordinates Technology. We are based out in Chennai. I hope the part of India, you people are joined in this session. So you need any support for the training support or technology support or any kind of project support, we're ready to do the activities in your geographical area. So we have a underground analysis also, like a GPR. We have a underwater analysis also be there. It is a sonar, and then above the land, it is a LiDAR, and then drone based, GPS based, whatever the supports is required, we will be provide you, right? So any kind of support is required, kindly you can reach me. So now you have to raise your queries. I'm ready to answer for this. Yes, please. Any doubts? Because it is very essential, because your question is very valuable for others also, right? Because in our normal engineering, AICTE nowadays try to reach this type of seminar to reach the technology to the faculties as well as the students. But as per the local, there was a lot of practical issues are there, because the technology gap is there. From student to industry, there is a big gap will be there. So we are the person, the professionals, the professors, lecturers is the only way to reduce the gap between industry and then students, right? So we have that is what we are running in this training aspects, because otherwise students won't be get, because now only they are planning, even the AICTE is plan how it will be useful, but obviously industry is already started to use these technologies for mitigation measure as well as in the pre-mitigation analysis, so that whatever the doubts you have to come up. It is very essential. Any doubts? Even you can chat in message box also if you not able to raise your request. You can speak even if it is in the Tamil. நீங்க தமிழ்ல கூட பேசலாம், no problem. Because since it is a national level program, that is what we are maintaining. That is what I am saying. Whatever the language, உங்களுக்கு என்ன languageல comfortable, நீங்க அது மூலமா கூட நீங்க உங்களுடைய doubts கேட்கலாம், no problem. யாருக்காவது டவுட் இருக்கா? ஆல்மோஸ்ட் fine. So meanwhile, I will show one more concept. I hope உங்களுக்கு அது யூஸ்ஃபுல்லா இருக்கும்னு நினைக்கிறேன். It is a A similar drone is also here involved, but this is for the assessment purpose. Generally, we have a what is called the engineering industry. We have a biggest challenge for the assessment. So this is a concept, LiDAR, right? The drone is also LiDAR will be there. Then handheld based LiDAR is also there. These are all our previous some assessment studies. Like it is also kind of what is called a rehabilitation, right? After a long gap, right? If anything is not used, we need to restart. We need to know about entire engineering parameter. We done one project. It is located in Chennai, right? It is called the Victoria Public Hall. It's a very familiar one, built in 1886. There is a 3-floor, but after what is called like a independent, there is no much maintenance is happened. So now everyone is trying to recreate this structure, right? So we have the device is called a LiDAR device. We used to walk in and around. We create as a engineering point cloud. So based on the engineering point cloud, we create as a 3D, right? Here we will be get all the 2-dimensional, 3-dimensional information. We will create as a bill of quantity, right? BOQ, for rehabilitation of the structure, because it is also one kind of disaster. So they are not supposed to use the building very long period. So that now they plan to restart, but they don't have an engineering measurement. So we have a solution. It is one pilot study. So we done the entire thing, how many doors, how many windows, what is the type of roof, what is the height of roof, which locate or which height, all the details are presented, right? So this is it's a Aya Mandapam. It is in the Pondicherry. They want to create as a 3D building, right? So nowadays the 3D printers are there for building. So we create as a mesh model. Then finally we create a 3D model. After that they will be create as a miniature, right? So this is also one. This is the 3D capturing for the existing building. They are going for the plan approvals, safety approvals. We have a device to create as it is agri colleges in Trichy. So we done it up. This is for the plant inspection. They want to go for sell the plant, or they want to go for the fire and safety audit for the plant. We take as a drone information, then we create as a 3D models, right? So these are all coming under the drones. Then this is also the 3D rehabilitation of works, right? So this is for the terrain, whether the building is falling under the stream flow area, that is a water flow area. So everything is we will be identify it. We will be create as a structure. This is for the engineering structures or engineering models. So if anything is happened in this building after 5 years, they have a 3D model. If they want to recreate of this structure, they can use this model, right? After fire or after any calamities, they cannot able to recreate. So before calamities, they will be created, right? So this is also one of the building detailing. So we will be create as a 2D. So how the plan is created, how the position is happen, everything is done by the this drone as well as in the LiDAR, right? So we have a lot of facilities are there. So based on the facilities, we will be able to rectify it. Right. So fine. I hope you have a. So someone is send a message through chat box. So any forecast technology for automobiles. So the forecast technology in automobile is that is what the LiDAR is the only device is going to be supposed to help for automobile for the autonomous vehicle, because in India, autonomous vehicle is a very new concept, but since 2016, we are unable to performing because of the proper land information, right? The autonomous vehicle in India, we need a proper the land information system to the on dashboard. So that is what India is planning. Maybe very soon, India is going to create as a own base map for the Indian topographical. Now we are all depending on the Google Maps. It is a very slow, as well as it is a very less accuracy map. India is planning for the very precise. Precise means it comes under the less than 10 centimeter accuracy of Indian geographical map, so that every speed break, every small roads, turns also coming under this industry. Maybe it will be very useful for the automobile industry for creating is a new vehicle for Indian geographical conditions. Maybe this is one is under process. We don't know how long time it will take, but the system is started in 2023. As of now, lot of states are in this following developments. Maybe very soon it will be fulfill the concept, and then automobile industry maybe for the railway track alignments or this kind of the motor movements or any kind of tested industries. These are all the useful. Fine. So this is what the forecasting in this industry. Any other questions which you have? So any type of questions, நீங்க தாராளமா கேட்கலாம், no problem. Because the session is for you. உங்களுக்காக தான் இந்த செஷனே நம்ம பிளான் பண்ணியிருக்கோம். Because even நிறைய registration இருந்தாலும் nearly நீங்க இது பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கீங்க. Because we are providing நிறைய classes for the Polytechnic students, engineering students வந்து hands on training கொடுக்குறோம். I think in chat boxல என்னுடைய கான்டாக்ட் நம்பர் கூட போட்டிருக்கேன். நீங்க எடுத்துக்கலாம். நீங்க தாராளமா டைரக்டா 1-to-1 கான்டாக்ட்ஸ் கூட பண்ணலாம். பிகாஸ் வாட் வி ஆர் பிளானிங், இது கம்பல்சரி ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ்க்கு போகணும். பிகாஸ் எக்ஸிஸ்டிங் இன்ஜினியரிங் ஃபீல்டு வந்து ஹைலி இட்ஸ் அஃபெக்டட். த இனோவேஷன்ஸ் இல்லை, எஸ்பெஷலி ஃபார் மெக்கானிக்கல், எலக்ட்ரிக்கல் அண்ட் சிவில். ஸோ தட் there is a way to reach the technologies to the students. So that is the only way to reach into the people, right? So இதுதான் ஒரே வழி. So that we are willing to conduct hands-on training and then kind of seminars, internships, because industry is highly looking for the knowledgeable resources, right? But we are unable to generate because our syllabus and then our laboratory facilities and then our own knowledges. Because 10 years before there is a no drone, even 5 years before also there is a no drone, even 1 year before also there is a no drone in the engineering aspects. The drone is a very booming, lidar is very booming, and the assessments is very booming. Generally we used to conventional measurements or conventional databases only. So that won't be useful in future, right? So that we will be conduct kind of seminars. It will be really useful. So kindly note even my number or any kind of information is required in future. We will be providing for the equipments. We have all the devices in our in-house. So now உங்களுக்கு வந்து அதை வந்து across Tamil Nadu we have a team. Even for Karnataka and then Andhra and Kerala, we have a very good teams are there. So we will be supposed to provide you. Fine. Finally, once again, ஏதாவது doubt இருந்ததுன்னா கேட்கலாம். Otherwise, we will be ending our session. Okay, so I hope எல்லாருக்கும் இந்த ஒரு இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் ரீச் ஆயிருக்கும்னு நினைக்கிறேன். ஸோ வாட் எவர் த நீட்ஸ் சாட் பாக்ஸ்ல இன்ஃபர்மேஷன்ஸ் இருக்கு, நீங்க அதை எடுத்துக்கலாம். ஸோ தேங்க்யூ எவ்ரி ஒன், தேங்க்யூ வெரி மச், தேங்க்யூ மேடம், தேங்க்யூ ஃபார் த ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டி, தேங்க்யூ. நீங்க முடிச்சுக்கலாம்.
Today's guest, Mr. A. Selvam sir, dealt about types of drones, case studies regarding pre and post disaster of drones, advantages and applications of using drones. Thank you for your wonderful session, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Participants, kindly fill the feedback form for the session available in the chat box. Welcome to the second session of day 3 on analysis of different species affected by disaster. For this topic, Mr. K.T. Rajiv sir is going to deliver. He has completed his UG degree in Civil Engineering Department from Builders Engineering College in the year of 2015. And he has his PG degree in Solamalai College of Engineering in the year of 2021. He has his teaching experience also. Presently, he is working as a manager in Minehart India, Bangalore. He has vast experience in geotechnical engineering. We welcome you for the session, sir.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. This is Rajiv, and I'm a geotechnical engineer having 10 years of experience in industries alone. So, my field is especially in geotechnical. That means related to soil and foundation designs. So, I hope most of the people are known about geotechnical field. It is most commonly available in some few colleges. We are the specialists in soil engineering and foundations. So, we have to go start with the topic of analysis of different species that are affected by disaster. So this is today's topic. So generally we have a lot of disasters. Let's see one by one how the disaster made and how it affects the different species, including the plants, animals, and humans as well as everything. So let's more detail into this presentations. So I'm my business manager. I'm working in Minehart India ATCM Private Limited. So it is a design firm. We are working in most of the sectors as well as in internationally as well as nationwide. So we are the major project holders in many sectors. This is about my company brief and myself personally. So let's start our today's topic: analysis of different species affected by disasters. So the next slide, please. Yeah. So what are disasters? How it causes? So a disaster is a sudden or unexpected event that causes the serious damage or loss of life. So it may happens in many years. Continuously it happening, some by naturally, and a few of this happening by man-made resources. And technologically, lot of hazards is also happening. So disaster is a term. It is derived from French. It's the meaning of bad or evil star. So the disaster that means it is a bad or evil. It is a mentioned in French, and aster means star. Okay, so it is commonly called as disaster. So, like from this picture, we want to know many of the disasters is happening, like earthquake, tsunami, wildfire, so landslides, ash falls, cyclones, and nuclear explosions. This can be categorized by three of them. One is natural. It is happened by natural climates, geologically or metamorphically, like that. It will happen in environment. And man-made. Man-made disasters also happens. So and technically, we are doing some projects in between. Any error happens, that also maybe happens to a huge issues. So that only causes the economic losses, even the human life losses, and the environment also entirely changed. This has happened. That is why we are call it as disaster. Okay. So next slide. Yeah, next slide. Somita, can you? Ah, yes. Next. Types of disasters. So there are several types of disasters, including the natural, man-made, and the technological. By subdivision, we can consider natural have more number of disasters that causes the major issues to the people living in their society or environment, or even also with the animals, plant species, everything. So first I go with the natural disasters that can be categorized as geophysical. Geophysical means it is related to earth only, earthquakes, landslides, and tsunamis. And earthquakes is the reason for tsunamis also, and volcanic activities. And hydrological means it is mostly flood and avalanches. Avalanche is nothing but it is a landslide something. And climatically, it is extreme temperature, drought, even sometimes happen in drought, and wildfires. Recently, they are happening, and the wildfires we can see in Google Maps now recently where the exactly fire happenings in the satellite has updated its visions. So it will be helpful. We can find where the recent wildfire is happening in Google Maps. We can throughout the world through the help of the satellite. We can catch the wildfire, and we can resolve the issue as soon as possible. That's why they launched a new. Recently, they launched satellite with the wildfire measurements. And meteorological, it is cyclones, storms, and wave surges. So these are the natural disasters, including this biological also comes because lot of diseases it also causes many people to lose their life. Even not only for people the diseases comes, even plants it's also affected by some diseases. Animals that also cattle breed, sheep, goats, everything is commonly affected by some of the diseases, and it may have the loss of life. So that is why it is also considered as the one of a disaster. So this and all happen not in a day-to-day life, but it will be a part of a life. We can we want to know that everything like this will be happen anytime, anywhere. At least we want to know what is it. That is that is the situation denotes, and what are the affections to humans, plants, animals. That all be included in the sessions. So next, please. So with the next slide. Yeah. So types of man-made disasters. So man-made disasters is also called environmental degradations. So we are acquiring most of the lands in hilly areas that causes the land to slide. That is called environmental degradation. We change the environment by our purposes, and it make become the some hazardous sectors and make a disasters. And pollution. Pollution is also called as a disaster. Suppose if any air or gas leaks to the environment that causes many people to die. That is also it's happened mainly for by man-made disasters only. And urban and forest fires, like some electrical cable issues or even forest fires. Something some people may mm, mistakenly they keep the fired properties materials or nearby forest. It causes the fire. So oil spills means in oceans or rivers, mainly oceans near Chennai. When ships they contain a huge of oils, it makes the water to pollute. And the collapse of huge building and structures, not only buildings, it is like bridges or even near the hilly roads, everything. So this mainly happen due to man-made disasters only. So it happens in like we can further classify it into technological. So technological means it is a like transport accidents, structural failures, explosives, fires. Suppose if some explosions are going to happen that we don't know if we made a human error, then it will be a technological error. So accidents are mainly happen by uh, have some logic like in technical behind research is there. And the industrial is like mainly by wastages like nuclear explosions, radiations, some poisonous gas transportation or pipelines transportation of poisonous gas. If it is leaks, it becomes the man-made disasters only, and it's mainly in the industrial sectors. And warfare, war, terrorisms, like between the two countries, there is a war like Ukraine, Russia, it's happening, and many of the humans were lost their lives. So it is also included as a disaster. It is like a man-made only. It is so then terrorisms, internal conflicts, civil unrest. This is and all making the it's a kind of man-made disasters. So next slide. Yeah. So technological disasters. So it is like one of a in mining because mining, tunneling and all it is a technological disasters only. So the technical concern in mining and the tunnel, they are going to work inside the tunnel and below the ground level, they want to work in mining sectors. So some reasons, sudden failure of the stability, it causes the tunnel or mining to failure because the people who are working inside the mining and tunnel, it will be the more people like 200 to 300 people at the time of working. If any technical error happens or if it is a technology issues, it will cause the people to die. So that is we are called it as a technical disasters and a nuclear core meltdowns. So the nuclear explosives or where we are dumping the nuclear wastes, we should be more careful. Already it is careful. Some interruptions happen to that waste. It causes the main reaction, the nuclear reaction. We know as we are all educated people, we know that what happened in nuclear wastes. And if it is not properly dumped when the radiations comes from space, it causes people to make sufferings from lot of diseases, and it is difficult to survive in that area. So this is the technological disasters. So next. So this is the world level scenario. It is like the blue color. It's mentioned the natural disasters, and the green some the man-made disasters, and it is the total. The red includes combining by total. So you see how much it is in India happens, and in China, but Philippines, Indonesia, and US. There is a record. So both of this happening. Natural is also common, and man-made is one of the reasons. So this disaster is demand has been increasing because and nowadays it start reducing, but mm, newer types of disasters like in man-made and biological, it will increasing and growing nowadays. So this may be a issues for uh, we want to know we natural resources we cannot do anything. It naturally happens. We cannot make them by precaution only. But man-made and biological we can reduce by observing this. What is the effect? We are clever in that area. We can minimize their disasters. So this is the general graphical representations that fertility is caused by the various disasters in India, even the drought, earthquake, extreme temperature, flood, glacial lake, insect infestation, landslide, mass movement, storm, wildfire. So this is 1992, 2020. So it is the last 30 years records. So we want to know where the disasters happen. It is at this recent years it will decreasing. So we want to know where the disaster happened and how can we reduce it. Only the man-made, natural we cannot do anything. It is normally happened everywhere. So man-made remaining disasters we can reduce it. That is why I show this comparison in this. So this is taken from the India's Today's article. Next slide. So natural disasters we can further classified as it is a geophysical and like metamorphical climatic variations that all we can little bit go through that what are the each categories. So India is vulnerable to many geophysical natural disasters, including the earthquakes. What are the it's gaming under? So earthquakes is mostly happen in seismic zone. In India, we are dividing the five seismic zones as per the seismicity records. So zone 1, zone 2, zone 3, zone 4, and zone 5. Zone 4 and zone 5, it is not a major issues. We can no fear about the earthquake years. Where the zone 1 and zone 2 areas like zone 3. So we can consider Gujarat. We are seeing many earthquakes in Gujarat. Last November 14th also we faced some earthquake. It is like 4.6 magnitude. So like this, and we heard about the Bhuj earthquake in 2012. It is like 7.6 magnitude. That loss of many people are lost their lives, buildings, their plant species, animals. Even many of the species came under animals in endangered species. So Asiatic cheetah like that. So this has happened due to earthquake. So this earthquake is mainly happened by the tectonic movement of the below ground surfaces. There is a plates we call tectonic plates. If the movement in the plates, it causes it's a main issue for creating the shock waves. So that shock wave at the center and it forms the earthquakes. We have studied everything in earthquakes related theories. So the 1993 Latur earthquake was the severe earthquake with magnitude of 64 on the Richter scale. So this is in 1993 and in 2001 it is a Bhuj earthquake. So 7.6 magnitude. So for earthquakes, we want to only make the precautions. Whatever the precautions we want to do, that only we want to do it, remaining it. And nowadays we are going with underground, many metros and tunnels, and we are going for more depth. Some disturbance in constructions or some disturbance in naturally, even man-made or it is, the earthquake will cause us surely. For example, I'm saying if we have many of the Orissa areas still feel the earthquake in liter magnitude, like 3 to 4 or 2 to 3. This has happened due to larger, larger mining in there in Orissa. So that's why the government told stop some minings. So for protection of the land. So if you are continuous digging, and make voids for the underground level, then the plate movement easily it happens. So it is filled with the soils and waters and cavities. So if we disturb that nature, it will also disturb us. So that is the thing. So mining also, due to that mining issues, many of the minings were closed and minor aspects, not it's like a major, minor aspects we are facing. So we want to know whether what type of without disturbing anything we can take it. But this is the aspect scenario currently happening in India. And most over all the world, we can feel earthquakes. And the most dangerous zone is Pacific zone. So whether like in Japan, we can say. So whether we can like 5 to 6 magnitude, it's all normal that region. So even eight and all they are facing 8, 9 magnitude of earthquakes. So this is the earthquake zones, and our India has categorized into five zones already. I said in zone 1 and zone 2, it's a little issue. Zone 3 is moderate, and zone 4, zone 5 is low. So even the Bhuj earthquake, it is under the zone 2, and the Tibetan is also in under the zone 1 areas where the most of the hilly areas covered and landslides. So next to landslides, hilly areas in India are risk from landslides. So normally in hilly areas, the erosion is happen uh, because of the deforestations. And also we are making roadways, pathways, and we are making tunnels, and we are disturbing the nature somehow. And if it is good, there is a no landslides or erosions. While we are making roads, we are cutting many trees. That is the reason there is a landslides anywhere happens. And the continuous raining. This is a natural. This is continuous raining is a natural. If continuous raining for some hours and or if intensity of rainfall is more, then the reason it is the landslide is happening. So the landslides anyhow have recently the landslide happened in Wayanad, Kerala. Lot of people they lost their life, even plants, animals, huge trees, medicinal plants, including the species that changes the environment of around the length of 30 kilometers. In the entire area was changed. So economic loss is also there. People's life is also there. So this is the reason. It's happened due to the high intensity of rainfall. So continuous rainfall with high intensity. That is the reason for landslides. like this, many landslides happened. Even in 2017 to 18, Karnataka, one landslide is happening. So this is like similar way. Whatever it is there in natural, we can consider it. But while constructing something happen, it is like a man-made resources. So that avalanches is like a snowball. Like if it is huge amount of snow, it falling on the mountain, that is called avalanches. So it's seen on the top of the image. So, we can see, and there is a powder snow avalanches. If it is like a snow has some internal properties. If the properties varies, it cannot resist. It is not it's not to be a stabled one. It want to some disturbed area. So it want to cause the major disaster. We are not facing any in Himalayan region only. We are facing these issues. Apart from Himalayan region, we won't face anything. But compared to other colder regions, we have to face these issues as many. And floods we are recently facing many places. Like Orissa, we are also facing Kerala, Tamil Nadu, and even Karnataka also. Everywhere, most of the areas we are facing with recently floods. So this floods is mainly due to the improper nowadays improper distribution of a water. Only we are planning the water to rivers. If we are diverting them, we can reduce the amount of floods in sometimes. But we cannot predict how much flood it will come. It is difficult because it's entirely depend upon the rainfall. If rainfall is more, surely the flood will be more. So India is one of the world most flood prone countries because we are now currently we are seeing many this last 1 year also we are facing many areas the mostly the flood in Orissa, Bhubaneswar, many areas facing the flood issues. So with the 12% of the land prone to flood and river erosions. So many of the areas we are going with the flood erosions only uh, that causes the people to disturb many their lives. Even few of the people like compared to many of the issues, this disaster makes the kills of thousands of peoples. If it is continuously by year, the floods kill the many peoples and animal species. Even if they are agricultural land, the entire agricultural land also destroyed. So it is happening due to the flood. So this is like what we are showing now. That is where the first figure mentioning that the snow area, whatever the issues in disaster happen. So ice storm, hailstorm, blizzard, and cold wave, and avalanches. Then next one, it is in a drought area, wildfire, solar fire, heat waves, drought. We know in 2015 we are facing Karnataka having with the drought issues. And in hilly areas, it is like landslide, earthquakes, subsidences, killer fog means some poisonous, and sinkhole. Maybe we are constructing something or somewhere naturally also sinkholes also made due to the disruption in tectonic plates. And while we are facing the issues in Chennai metro constructions, so there is a hole developed in the road, in the middle of the road, that causes the sinkhole. That is they are mentioning. It is the one of our disasters also. It's natural. The sinkhole is happening in natural as well as in both in man-made also. Next. So, and you heard about the tsunamis. After 2006 only, we want to hear the word tsunamis mostly. Before that, many of the people we won't hear the word tsunamis. It is the 1 minute. It is the largest tidal wave across the port. So wherever the near the seashore, that waves are become the highest. We can't predict that much of height of. It's mainly causes due to the earthquake. So in the mid of the sea, the earthquake causes that causes the waves, the primary shock waves, makes the water to move outwards. So that energy it's transferred in the form of waves. So in 2006, we are facing tsunamis, and we heard still also many of around across the country, we heard many tsunamis waves are presenting and cyclones. So India's coastal regions are susceptible to cyclones, with the country facing 5 to 6 tropical cyclones annually. So we are annually we are receiving many cyclones that there many of humans also made issues, and even plant species, many of our plant species only, and it's for animals also it will affect, and many of our buildings they it's also suffered in cyclones. Even drought. Drought, we are in less category because the western parts of India are frequently hit by droughts. India has experienced two of the world's most severe droughts in 2002 and 2015. Other natural disasters that can occur in India include forest fires, volcanic eruptions. This and all forest fire evenly happen many times, and volcanic eruptions it is less compared to other. So next slide. So natural disasters. So this is the some case studies I show you. Earthquakes and seismic activities impact on some species. So tectonic plate movement causes the earthquake in India, leading to habit destruction, species displacement, and the destruction of ecosystems such as 2021 Gujarat earthquake, and it is called Bhuj earthquake, affecting the Asiatic line. So the species like Asiatic line due to their mm, uh, Bhuj earthquake, it is considered as the endangered species. Only few numbers of species are there living, and many of the peoples were died. So many of the areas it is disturbed. Then lake areas, canal areas, it is all the areas were disturbed. It is a huge losses for all species as well as all the things, everything. If earthquake comes in like higher magnitude, we cannot sustain anything. Everything will be, it's not a easier way to say. It is too difficult. And landslides, geomorphological process under impact, heavy rainfall or seismic activity trigger landslides in India, displacing species and damaging habits, as seen in Kerala 2018 landslides and affecting the wildlife like Nilgiri. So even now, Wainadu, many of the elephant species are in that area that due to that issue, it causes to kill, and many human and many plant species, everything it's gone around the 30 kilometer of length. So this is the scenarios with natural disasters. If it comes, we cannot sustain. If it is make anger, then we cannot face it. Like that only it will be there. So floods, geophysical causes, effects on ecosystems, monsoon rains, glacial meltings, causes floods in India, and submerging habits displacing species and impacting biodiversity, such as the 2004 Assam floods, affecting the migratory of birds. Wherever the birds, if flooding is there, that area is covered by water, many of the birds, it's also issues. Like, I'm showing them some examples for each species, which is to be an endangered, where the numbers is less by showing these case studies. So these are all the reasons. Not only the humans. Humans always affecting. Humans is always affecting. I'm accepting. But apart from that, even many animals, plant species, everything. It is also issues. It is somewhere considered as endangered. So its numbers is less, very very less. Sometimes it will be not in no more. We can say sometimes in future. So we want to protect them for showing from this disasters. So next slide. So cyclone and storm surges, geophysical effects on coastal spaces. So cyclones in coastal India has disturbed ecosystem and damage mangroves. We in Tamil Nadu we say only two mangrove forests is there. So everyone knows mostly like this. Many of the mangroves were destroyed due to the cyclone. And marine species like olive red sea turtle within 1990 Odisha cyclone causing widespread devastations. The tsunami is geophysical impact on coastal and marine species. So underwater earthquakes causes tsunamis in India, destroying coastal habitats, displacing marine species, affecting coral reefs, as seen in 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami. So we hear that. Okay. And volcanoes, geothermal activities impact volcanoes eruptions in Andaman Nicobar Islands, bury the habits and pollute water sources, impacting the species like Nicobar region during the event, like the Barren Island eruptions. So like this, if some volcanic eruptions happen, that ashes makes the environment to pollute. So that and many of poisonous gases that is came from the lava, it also causes the life to lay. Not only the lava, but the poisonous gases also. It is even the lava spread lesser area, but the gases releases from the lava, it is more poisonous. It can cover more kilometer of radius. So that whatever the peoples or animals or plant species that will consume that poisonous gases by inhalations, it will cause us the to die or it cannot be no more in that area. So this is the reason for some volcanoes activities. So everyone knows lava can disturb us, but even the gases, poisonous gases come from the volcanic eruptions. It is more danger compared to the lava. So next slide. So natural disasters, biological. So we know COVID. From COVID, we also know that this biological disasters. So a biological disaster is a natural event that causes large scale diseases, disabilities, or death in humans, animals, or plants. Biological disasters can be caused by microorganisms like bacteria, viruses, or toxins. Some examples I'm showing, it is like epidemics and pandemics. So epidemics means a large number of people in a country or population region are affected by diseases. It is called epidemics. So for example, we can say cholera and plague are some of the examples of epidemics. It should be like in a group of community or a group of populations or a region, particularly by regions. So, for example, we say Nipah virus. It is spread only in wider ranges of Kerala. So, it is called epidemics. But we can consider an epidemic that spreads across the larger region, such as continent or in the world. It can pass all or across the nations, across the countries, all over. So that is called pandemics. So it is COVID-19. So coronavirus, we know all here. So this is also a biological disaster. So for this, we know the precautions, whatever they did in already we are facing everything. But it cannot be stoppable. It can come from to the some technical error or something. It causes more different type of viruses and it spread all over the area. And we making the disasters in biologically that causes the human to die or even animal plants. For example, human this type of virus. Even we have found many of this in cows. Cows have some of that. Cattle breeds have many of the viruses similar to humans. If that virus attacks, the cattle surely will die. And now scrub, where everyone people talks with the scrub viruses. It's recently spreading. Today it's day by day increasing, and people make some more attention on this. Scrub viruses, it is a biological, it's not a biological disaster. Still, it is happening across the world or it is in particular region or community. But it is start spreading. So nowadays, it is like the biological disaster are more compared to any other flood or we can here, we have to move somewhere. If earthquake happens, we want to protect something. But if we affect biological disaster, we cannot do anything. It's to be like more dangerous compared to all other. It's like a entirely disturb their life. So next slide. So this is the natural disasters and making the entire whatever happening like past 20 to 30, 20 years, 25 years acrossly. So earthquake, it is like we know that 2001 Bhuj earthquake that makes the main reason is like tectonic plate movements and it's happened in Gujarat. More than 20,000 of people were dead and flood 2018 500 plus people. It is one of a major flood. So Kerala heavy rainfall. This is due to a reason of heavy rainfall and river overflow and cyclone. It is 1999. What is that? 10,000 people. Uh, it's cyclone only. So reason tsunami. So 2004 10,000 plus people. So near Tamil Nadu and Andaman Nicobar Island, underwater earthquake. This is the major tsunami is mainly due to the earthquake reasons. So it comes under the natural category, natural disaster category. So if earthquakes happens in the mid of the sea, it surely make the tsunamis. The shock waves create the tsunami waves. Then landslide, 2014 Jammu and Kashmir, because Jammu and Kashmir is fully like a hilly area where the rocks are like weathered rocks. Most of the rocks with the fractures and fault we are seeing. So it's a geotechnical term. We normally in engineering geology we can study the fracture, fault, something like a word. So that is the reason. And heat waves 2015, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, extreme heat due to the climatic change in the area. Then avalanches 2012, snowfall only, 20 plus people. Drought 2016, Maharashtra, Karnataka, lack of rainfall and the climate variabilities and COVID-19. So 2020 to 22. So look, the biological disaster is major compared to all other disasters. So it is 5,31,000 as of 2023. So nationwide, it is like all over the world. So viral spread of this viruses. And plague in 1994, 50 plus. It's a Surat, Gujarat. So cholera outbreak 2010, 200 plus. Orissa backlog. So swine flu 2017, Maharashtra, Gujarat, and Karnataka. So it's a viral infections. So dengue outbreak 2019, three nationwide mosquito-borne infections, climatic change. So even though we are in many of the disasters nowadays, the biological disasters are get more and more increasing. It causes the species to it's a major disaster for humans or even all the species. Even plants have some viruses that infect the viruses, the plant will die like that. So the entire thing will be changed. The entire thing will be changed. So it is like something to we won't expect anything a good result. At least if earthquake comes, we want to know something and we know how to protect it. Or if cyclone comes, or if snowfall comes, we want to know something. Something we heard. At least we know there's some vibrations and we feel something. But if it is biological disaster, we can't predict anything. It is too difficult. Next slide. So endangered species due to the natural disasters. So this is the one of I'm showing that due to this natural disasters or whatever it's mainly to natural disasters, some of the species were considered as the endangered species. That means less number of countable only it is there. That is Asiatic cheetah. So like exiting in last in the 1950s causes while hunting and habitat destructions primary reasons. Natural disasters like drought and floods also contributed by altering the grassland habits. So most of this it is in forest, so that areas it happen with many floods. The rainfall is more that causes the cheetahs cannot sustain in the floody areas. So next, green Indian bustard, it is in endangered. So habit loss of due to droughts, desertifications, and floods, cyclones, and extreme weather in Rajasthan and Gujarat have also impacted the breeding grounds. So similar like Nicobar Megado, vulnerable. So disaster 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami. So the tsunami destroyed coastal habits and nesting sites on the Nicobar Island and their populations. So and freshwater dolphins endangered repeated flooding and the river pollution frequently floods or alter river flow and destroy habits and increase sedimentation. That's why these dolphins are endangered species. Mangroves. Due to the cyclone and the storms, the most of the mangrove forests were affected. And coral reefs in Lakshadweep and Andaman, so declining. The tsunamis waves, it's more powerful waves, so that waves are. So it causes the coral reefs to destroy their area. So the coral reefs grown in the species, it is considered as one of a declining. It start reducing its areas. So that is the reasons. And next. So same to the continuations, Himalayan flora. So there is a many types of flora, around the 7 types of flora that is considered as being the vulnerable, declining, and endangered. There are 7 types of species. So landslides and flood. This is mainly due to the landslide species and the flooding regions. And snow leopards. Due to the snow leopards, we are seeing some snowfall issues, snowfall disasters like avalanches. So that makes the snowstorms, that makes the animal to die, and or even it considers the if snowfall happens, it is a huge quantity that the animal cannot sustain in that area. So it also considers the vulnerable. So Himalayas destroy prey populations and reduce habitat availability. So this is the reasons. And these are the species we are considering in India. So due to the natural disaster, it is considered to be an endangered species. Next. So next this is the man-made disasters. Whatever the man-made disasters which are facing. Next. Next slide. So a man-made disaster is a harmful event that occurs due to the human actions or negligence or error or a failure of man-made systems. So industrial accidents that we know very well, chemical spills, explosions, fires, and structural failures, dam, bridges, building plumbers or building bridge failures, and there's terrorist attacks. So we know Taj Hotel terrorist Mumbai attack, and we know that many of our soldiers were died due to this terrorist attacks. We know we are hearing something about this. and mass gathering and stampedes. So some mass gatherings of people sit and people who died. It is also a man-made disaster. For some areas, it will be the more crowded. Then many of the people, like 100 to 200 people, can die in that same event. For some mass gatherings, due to the reason of mass gatherings. So transportation accidents, automobile collisions, shipwrecks, plant crashes, and environmental pollutions, greenhouse gases, oil spills, plastic debris, urban fires. Urban fires means in industrial buildings or due to electrical leakage or some other reasons. So many of the fire accident or fire incident happens. So oil spills near the sea while the container is fully loaded of oils. If something by disturbing or it's technically error, then the oil will leak into the entire into the sea, it making the habitual to this. These are all reason mainly for the man-made. It's not under the any category of natural. This is our technical mistakes or some other reasons. It's happened only due to the human issues. Next slide. Yeah, just you open. Yeah. So reasons for man-made disasters. Yeah. Just you move on it. Yeah. There are multiple factors that may relate to man-made disasters. Let me see one weapons. So usually it is happen in terrorists. So chemicals, carelessly handling danger, illiteracy, unawareness. So this is the reasons, some of a few reasons. Apart from many reasons are there. This is few of the reasons. Suppose we don't know some chemicals is poisonous, we don't know how to handle it, or some chemicals is spilling out. It's some issues like the virus spreading or something. So if we clear in that in illiteracy or unawareness, so we should keep some distance. So if we handling something in wrong or wrong decision makes the people confusing, he is not aware of that particular thing. It's happened to you one disaster in like if we know all we for this unawareness and the illiteracy, it's mainly happened due to Corona, COVID-19. So that is the reason. And careless handling. So many of things like careless, it also causes the disasters like weapon chemicals, many things it is there. So next slide. So it is the nuclear explosion and nuclear disasters. So nuclear disaster are the type of disaster that falls in this category. So nuclear bomb, when this oceans, it is often as a result of internet and the end results are even more concerned with. So if nuclear disasters, it's happened like the nuclear explosions. Like nowadays, it's another category of laser that we had somewhere, but it is the most dangerous weapon. Like we can consider it because this element, whatever the rays coming from this nuclear explosions or nuclear reactions, it is like continuously keeping on it. It cannot be stoppable. So the rays came from this nuclear elements like uranium, plutonium. We know some elements that cause the radioactive materials that the nuclear reaction will start. The chain reaction. It is a chain reaction. So when it is keep on startable, then it cannot be never end. But the power will be reduced. So while the wastage also it has some impacts. Even while we are working in atomic stations, we have the titanium badge for how much radiation we are observing through the badge only we are working. So this is like a nuclear disaster which are created by the man-made only. Next. Yeah, it is the nuclear explosion that happens, and then rays which are emitting the nuclear radiation, which are spreading while mistakenly operation happens. It will be causing the explosions, and may some radiation can spreading over the areas, whatever the covering areas. Next slide. Yeah, chemical disaster or industrial disasters. So by the nature, the manufacture, storage, transportation of chemicals or accident waiting to happen. Chemicals can be toxic or they may be react to open explosively. The impact of chemical accidents can be deadly for both the human being and environment. For example, simply I'm saying if we are using the transporting the petrols, if it is any accident happen like the while carrying in roadways, If in any fire incident that affect if it's petrol, it can mostly spreading all over, even gas lines also. Like this type of accidents, it is we can consider the chemicals. So not only like petrol, gases, LPG gases, even many chemicals is like this. So while they are transporting, it should be happened. So more precautions. If something even we cannot say 100% it is safe. Mostly it is safe, but some incident happen, it make a huge disaster. So next. So fire disasters. So bushfires, forest fires, and mine fires are generally started by lightning, but also by human negligence or erosion. They can burn thousands of square kilometers. So if forest fires happen mainly due to lightning or overheating, whatever it is there. But instead of that recent Tata in Hosur area, the entire one plant was destroyed by fire due to some reason of technical issues, maybe in electrical line leakage. So this is like fire disaster. So if it has happens, it will be more like we had many of the forest fires and many of the huge apartments forest fires happens. So this is the fires, but it naturally happens also. But the main reason for this in forest and all, it is naturally happen. But sometimes it will be happen by man-mades, mostly in electrical leakages or some other fire reasons. It may happen. Then next. So it's the examples of fire incidents. Next. Yeah, deforestations. For many of the landslides happened recently. It's by due to the deforestation. We are making some roadways or buildings or apartments or like resorts in hilly areas. We have to construct something, but we want to create a pathway for that. So we extend roads. We taken the lands from the hills and we destroy whatever in there. It is a naturally created one thing. The trees, plants, shrubs that are across the area, it will hold the soil. It will mainly the purpose is holding the soil and providing good nutrition to the soil. And if the water is there, if more water comes, it taken by the roots and it's absorbed, the runoff water will be reduced. This is the reason. So nowadays we are cutting many trees for constructing something or for personal purposes or for medicinal purposes. We are cutting many trees. So due to the deforestation, many of the lands that happens many were. So deforestation forest is an important source for the satisfying people demands and needs. So the undoubtful people who try to exploit forest resources, this process of exploiting forest is called deforestation. So we are destroying many plants and many trees in that huge trees for our personal uses and any other purposes that we disturbed something in the circumstances along this area, it entirely overall area will be disturbed. We think that it not disturbed, but this should be disturbed. So like the landslide, it's happen only. So when starting the landslide, it happens in the starting point. If more of the trees, herbs, plants is there, it may some productions for that landslide. If nothing is there, the landslide will start from starting and move on. The huger load will come to that forest area also. It cannot stop. So this is the reason for landslides. While the cutting of trees, it's a major reason for landslides. Moreover, next. Yeah, we can see now. This is the reason. Whatever. So if we made the forest cutting over one side of that, then it starts erosion from one area and it's moving on to the another area. So that land will start moving from one end to another end. So next. So this is the some man-made disasters, whatever the reasons happened. So Bhopal gas tragedy. We are many of the people we can hear about this in histories. So 1984, 3,000 people. So immediately 3,000 people are died and 16,000 people are. It is a gas leakage, some issues. So Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh, toxic gas leaks, methyl isocyanate from Union Carbide plant. This is the industrial area where some technical error or some mistakenly the gases leaks by bursting the pipes. Maybe some due to high pressure, the pipes can burst. So due to the reason toxic gases leaks, So that causes the how much people to death and there. So if we are clear, if we are they're clever at that time, we can save this many people at the time. So it's not only like we have the data for only the humans. Even at the time, the toxic gases also will impact on the animal species, and it will impact on the plant species. So it's like it's commonly affect the total environment, not only the humans. But we have the data for only the human beings. And Chanchala mining disaster. So 1975, 375, Jharkhand explosion in coal mine caused floodings. So explosion. That means if one groundwater table is there, if it is more or the water table is higher, while explosion, the more of most of the water will cover entire area. That causes the make the flood. Recently, you seen in that media one of the Saraswati rivers from Rajasthan. So while boring, the lot of river came from the water tables. That the people know that it is the one of a year long year ago the river was not no more, but now there while doing the borehole, it is the underground water table is more. So it causes the water coming out from that borehole. It is like a river. It make an entire area floody and muddy. That area, most of the stuff, nearly around some some square acres of area, it will be covered with the water and with muddies. The water can pass through that much area. Even they are researching in it. It recently happened last this December only. And Delhi Apahar cinema fire. So 1997. So fires due to electrical short circuit, lack of safety measures. So due to the safety and measures and these things also like electrical leakage, we cannot if they are properly checking their electrical cables properly, then there is a no disaster. If it is like a small, okay, we can, but we want to periodically check it for electrical firing. So many of if it is spreading, even the fire, we cannot control some fire disasters and all. It should be too difficult while it's spreading. Even the wind also increases this fire. But the Vizag gas leaks 2020, 12 people are victim. So siren gas leaks from LG polymers plant. So and train collisions 1995 358 Fazirabad Uttar Pradesh train collision caused by human error. So this happened in recently in Orissa, I guess it. So and Chernobyl of India nuclear leak. So no fatables, but nuclear radiation leaks. But this nuclear radiation is harmful. Even the death rate is not there, but it affects many people's their lives. Even in the breathing problem will come, the respiration issues will come automatically. Some of the people feel the eye vision is disturbed due to this nuclear issues. And Mumbai terror attacks, we know this is a man-made. So, coordinate terrorist attacks and Gujarat riots, 1,000+, it's communal violence. So Chennai oil spill. So here one oil spill, what oil is leaking under, and the same in 2023 one gas leaks is in Ennur plant. The gases leaks. Many of the people have that drowsiness and continuous vomiting. It's happened in last 2023 in Ennur only. So then Mr. Train tragedy. So Mr. Punjab train plowed through the cover during the Dasra celebrations. And the Punjab flyover collapse 1995, 48 people. Structural collapse due to faulty constructions. Even now, Bihar one bridge was collapsed. This due to the structural instabilities. These are the reasons. It shows the major number of death. Even this minimum also it is happening like a few people, like 10, 12 people also die. That like incidents major will be there due to the man-made disasters. So this can be avoidable by our giving the better guidance to the upcoming students. We want to know this is the happens. So if the history is like this thing is happened, we can reduce the man-made disasters and the natural disaster also. We are planning to do proper guidance and if floods happen, where we have to if excess water comes, constructing more number of dams that divert the water, we can avoid flooding. Landslides also we can easily recover due to that growing the vegetations. And earthquake it is the measure and tsunamis is the measure. We want to only adopt by earthquake. We are only adopting. We can avoid by disturbing the tectonic plates by constructing more number of loads to that same plate. Even that also causes the tectonic plates to move. Mining. mining, we disturb the underground surfaces, then surely it will disturb us. So that we can put a limit for this. Then we can natural and man-made disasters can come to reduce. Nowadays it is reducing by the technically, but still it's going on. Still it's going on. So this is my conclusions. And next, okay, that's all. Yeah, that is my session. So from that, I want to hear some past histories and the disasters that caused by natural and man-made disasters. And I think you are more gaining some knowledges about the disasters. Everyone knows that disaster is happen daily, daily news, daily events. We are hearing some disasters happening in there around the world, around the neighboring countries and around the neighboring state also in India, wherever. So we are only the planner to rectify, reduce because we are the engineers. Most of the all are the engineers. We are the technical solution peoples. We want to give the proper solution to them while we are the mentors, counselors, teachers, designers. In lot of professions we are having. So we can make it a full step for something to happen. It we can we can we can reduce it. We are the only possible solutions, and we proudly say that we are the doctors for things. These things happens. So it's all happen in our hands. So thank you for the wonderful session. And yeah, any questions you can ask. You can ask any questions that related to these things or related to geotechnical. I can handle. So you can ask anything. I'm expecting something from your end. Hello, Somita. Is there? Hello, Somita. Somita is there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So you can do this.
Shall we continue?
And yeah, because I have some work.
Okay,
I
sir.
work.
Today's
Sorry,
experts
sorry.
start. Shall I start, sir?
Yes, you can start.
Today's experts start with the different types of disasters like technological, industrial accidents, biological disaster, etc. Endangered species due to natural disasters like animals and plants in the forest were clearly explained. He also mentioned effects of nuclear disaster, chemical disaster, fire disaster, etc. Thank you for your wonderful session, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir. Participants can kindly fill the feedback form in the chat box.